Yeah, I just,
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We have a special meeting of the City Council of the City of Cape May. We're here in the Cape May City Hall Auditorium. Today is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. The time is now 4 p.m. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Under the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May County Herald and the Press of Atlantic City, and a copy of the agenda was delivered to each member of City Council, posted on the Cape May City website and the Cape May City Hall Bulletin Board. Notice is hereby provided that all, I'm sorry, I'm calling Councilmember Meyer. All city council meetings are audio recorded and/or video streamed live. Live video streams are posted to the Cape May City website, and the City of Cape May is not responsible if audio recording of a meeting or live video streaming is unavailable. Bear with me a moment here, guys. Can I have your notes? Thank you. All right, roll call. Councilmember Baldwin?
here?
Councilmember Bodnar?
Here.
Deputy Mayor McDade?
Here.
Councilmember Meyer?
Here.
Present by phone. Mayor Mullock?
Here.
City Solicitor Gillenschwartz?
Here.
City Manager Dietrich?
Here.
Deputy Manager Riggs?
Here.
And Deputy Clerk Turner?
Here.
And we have one resolution, was 13904-2025, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12. This is to discuss collective bargaining negotiations for the following units: GWU Upper Management, UAW Local 2327 Middle Management, PBA Local 59, Cape May City Superior Officers Association, CWA Local 1036 White Collar, CWA Local 1036 Blue Collar, IAFF Local 3495 Firefighters, and 610 Beach Avenue and the open space easement.
Oh, pardon me. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullock.
Yes.
And we have a public portion, Mayor.
Anyone wishing to speak from the public? Seeing none, we'll close public comment and go into closed session. The time is 4:05.
Thank you.
It's not rolled out already, is it?
the street, because they're gonna bring in some big equipment, they're gonna have a dump truck, and, you know, it only takes a little bit to tear that road apart.
I know. Well, it only takes a little bit to tear that thing down too, it's going to create a lot of dirt. My house is, the grass, my property has all these shingles, because every time the wind blows, the shingles blow off the top of that roof. It's a disgrace,
Have you been inside the new church?
I have, very nice,
So,
yeah, it is nice, the workers are wonderful.
what I'm curious about is, what are they gonna do for lights?
I think they did say something, did you ask something, that was for the parking of the lights? You mean the lights on the outside of it?
No, this kind of like,
Oh, those, oh, yeah.
I mean, they're about as ugly as you can get.
They are, they really have to have something in keeping with the period. You know?
And we don't know what happened to the originals.
Were they in the church when they started to demolish it, or did it split? Yes, they were, yeah.
They went the way of the pews.
Well, the pews are supposedly out on the storage out at Public Works.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand why they can't bring them in even for people to sit while they're waiting to go inside the theater. Like, I don't understand that. Really pretty cushions, huh?
I don't think there's room for that.
Are you looking at this man? I don't know. Well, and my next thing, they said they weren't gonna put trees, now they're putting trees.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're gonna plant trees.
Yeah, they said they weren't. And number one, I mean, it's gonna raise the bricks, not in my lifetime, but that's an issue.
Well, depending on the kind of trees they plant, if it has a taproot, then they'll be fine, but it's just not a very good place to plant trees,
Like,
you know.
I know. And it takes up all this room, so.
Hey, well,
That's another problem.
Yeah.
But, now we're waiting for the gas lines.
Are they gonna put gas lights in?
yeah.
That'll be like,
I put my horse out there. Did you see my
I
horse?
saw your, they didn't take it, tell you to take it down yet?
Oh, no, they did. Actually, here's what happened. I went over about a month before it was put in. I asked the guys to give the brick to put it.
Yeah.
I came over to the HPC and I said, look, I want to put this horse in. Do I need some kind of a certificate? Like, you need a
Right.
license for everything. So they said, well, the girl didn't know, so then she went and called Judy, and she said, yes, I definitely need one. So I said,
your stuff out,
Okay,
email,
all right.
everybody.
You know, there's a couple blanks in there, have been,
Yeah.
and I don't know what they are, but
I don't know.
I'll have to say.
Yeah. I thought it was well done.
Oh,
I
good.
mean,
Well, Stacy did a good job at this stuff,
yeah,
too.
do you know what she did? I didn't know this. She had AI do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
She fed that stuff in, and that's what AI printed.
oh, man, maybe I should have done that. I slaved for it. Spell check and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. You know, I've only used that a couple of times, mostly when you get to a website or a subject, whether it's Phillies, Flyers, whatever. At the end, you can say, we want to know more about this, or just general as the question. And the responses all come through AI. Because they don't really answer the question. They just gather facts, put them together, and hope that you're able to come to a conclusion yourself based on all the facts.
Well, you know, my son, he just retired 2 weeks ago from Amazon.
Okay.
And he said, he said, Dad, you have no idea what AI is doing. He said, you can't even imagine how it's going to be like. Now, he's out of it now. He's so happy to be out.
Let me ask you a question, since you have a hand with Amazon. Has he ever been involved in these mystery boxes that keep getting bombarded with messages from Amazon about these things, buying for like $25, $30, and they could have computers and all kinds of things in these boxes. They're kind of based on returns that people
Oh,
send.
okay.
And so they don't know what to do with them most of the time. Manufacturers don't want that. So they just pop them into these boxes, seal them up, and sell them blindly.
Wow.
And ask him about that.
I will.
See if he's heard about that.
Well, I think if Amazon had the choice, they'd get the hell out of that, what I call the retail business. The warehousing and
Oh, yeah.
all those products.
And yeah. But they got it pretty, they got robots and Zoomers and all kinds of stuff doing that.
But I don't, they don't make that kind of money for the investment they have.
No.
But they're whores to work for.
So, yeah, I heard it second.
Nothing at all. The last big layoff that he lost a bunch of his people. They laid off 15,000. 5 a.m. in the morning, everybody got an email. Where your cell phone and computer work, you're now retired, you resign, whatever they call it, but they said show up, bring it in, you're done.
I think those is tough, that's a brutal way to lose your
Well,
job.
that's the way all the money comes, that's the way these big companies are now. There's the little allegiance, and he's 63, and he said, my boss is 37.
That's right. Well, that's what was happening in Vermont. But at that time, they were paying people to leave because it was still cheaper than the people hanging around, especially people like me who have been with the company so long. So, here he is. All right. I've called you. Me? Yes. I don't get your calls. These two. Is my secretary, no, she's not. She's not. There's no answer, you said? Did I hang up on you?
Yes.
Well, then I must have thought you were a telemarketer.
Yeah.
Because if your identification comes up anything other than.
Okay, gentlemen.
Have either one of you gotten emails about traffic violations?
No, I haven't. That's a scam.
And, well, the Easy Pass, I've gotten 3 of those.
Yeah, really.
And also Sunday, because I also, I'm registered in Florida with SunPass.
Yeah, all scams.
And,
Dangerous feeder, so they know that.
called her, I said, can you give me an update? I said, I'm getting these scans. She said, well, give me your driver's license. Okay, I remember my car license.
No, they can't do it.
She said, well, we've got 4 cars. I said, no.
What you knew I was here.
What do you used to?
Yes.
She checked me, and she said, you know, you have a credit card that you automatically deduct. That card was hacked. I got a new one. She said, you have $20 left on your account. And she said, you go above that, if you use that, you're gonna start to get violations. So,
Because you didn't switch over to the credit card.
yeah.
That happened to me a couple of times with different people. But I called them up and gave them the new credit card.
Well, I tried to do that, and you see, it gave me the easy pass, it was like, come on,
Oh,
trust.
yeah.
They've got these 2 ladies that sit back, they have a nice office there, and, really, really friendly.
if you show your license, it's a real ID. It has to have that star, it has to be a real ID. They call it a real ID.
Yeah, there's giant lines.
If not, you need to have a passport.
Oh, I have a passport.
Yeah, but you have to have it with you.
Well, if I know I'm gonna fly, I'm bring it with me.
A real ID. Not yet.
What's a real ID? Is this considered a real ID?
So you've got to start? But you need to start.
I know you didn't like what I said.
No. I hear you.
He found that out today?
And then the ones that have to say.
In other words, have you done the minutes? Can you send
Yes? Oh,
I'll talk with you afterwards, Chris. I'll just mention something to you from upstairs thing afterwards.
Okay.
Just remember.
developing out of using containers. That's the biggest thing going on. Is 40, 40-foot containers. Oh, yeah.
Always something, man. Always building something.
Yeah.
Nice having you come back. Nice having you come back.
I mean, they haven't done I had it like 2.5 weeks ago. It was out there. I know I just mentioned it to Zach, and he said we're using language with you. Or do you think we're okay with doing something tonight and adding something in?
I got something teed up.
Could I take a look and see what you have?
we can add that to the sign language too.
Okay, that's great. So this language mirrors the other one, so we have consistency with the ordinance.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So how should we do that as far as, how do we address that as far as?
When it comes up, we can just.
Did you see the mayor's tie? Did you see Zach's tie?
Motion in a second, and then discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we can do a motion to amend it.
During the discussion, bring it up as far as, okay. Good, perfect. You think Lamberg's actually going to show up tomorrow, Vince? I'm hoping. Thank you. I think closed session went well.
Yeah.
So I'll work on getting those two quotes. Oh.
Good evening, everyone. We apologize. We're just coming out of closed session. We need to close the closed session, and we will not be taking any action based on that conversation. That was just ongoing conversation. Do I have a motion to close? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. With that, we can begin our regular meeting agenda of the City Council of the City of Cape May. We are here in the Cape May City Hall Auditorium. Today is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. The time is now 5:15. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Under the Open Public Meetings Law. Shane, can you mute yourself? I'm getting feedback. Is that okay? Okay, apologies. Under the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May County Herald and the Press of Atlantic City, and a copy of the agenda was delivered to each member of City Council and posted on the city website and Cape May City Hall Bulletin Board. Notice is hereby provided that Cape May City Council meetings are audio recorded and video streamed live. Live video streams are posted to the Cape May City website. The City of Cape May is not responsible if audio recording or live video streaming of a meeting is unavailable. Roll call. Councilmember Baldwin.
Here?
Councilmember Bodnar.
Here.
Deputy Mayor McDade.
Here.
Councilmember Meyer.
Here.
Present via telephone. Mayor Mullock.
Here.
City Solicitor Gillen Schwartz.
Here.
City Manager Dietrich.
Here.
Deputy Manager Riggs.
Here.
And Deputy Clerk Turner.
Here.
Any additions or deletions, Council?
Any additions or deletions? No? Okay.
Moving on to updates.
Okay, any updates, City Manager?
Thank you. I guess the big update for today is parking meters started today. So please remember, when you're parking in a area that's, whether it's Park Mobile or in front of the meters, please make sure that you're paying for parking, because they have started back up, and I know Chief Ashall has his staff all ready to start up this week, and I don't want to get anybody caught by surprise.
No, and that's not April Fool's joke?
Yeah, that is
Okay.
not, yeah. That
You may
is-
want to speak up a little.
That is
Thank
not an April Fool's joke on that, given the day. The parking did start today.
Yeah,
Um,
the audience can hear you.
Parking started today, in case you didn't hear. The other thing, I just wanted to give a little shout out. Public Works, they've been working really hard on getting the community center up and running, along with our recreation, civic affairs staff. It's really coming out really nicely. Looking forward, I think we're going to have a grand opening in May, but I just wanted to really, just really give a shout out to staff. They've really jumped through a lot of hoops over the last couple months to make sure the program's all right. I know that if you want to take a little sneak preview in there, jump into some of the fitness classes and you'll get a little sneak preview of that, but you got to take a fitness class to get a little preview in there. And then my final was, I just want to give a shout out, Mike Zaghetti, Power Washing. He did some volunteering of cleaning up and power washing out at the Fisherman's Memorial in advance of this weekend's ceremony, and just really, it's great when a community member can come out and donate their time for that. So I just want to thank you for that, for him coming out and helping out Public Works.
That's nice. And we could go, Paul, while you have the microphone, why don't you go over our Employee of the Month this month?
Okay, this month we've got, which it's kind of apropos for what I was just talking about. We have David Scheffler from the Civic Affairs and Recreation Department. He is a recreation supervisor and coordinator. He spent really his whole career with the city, working down here, and in that department, he's been great. He's taken on, over the last year, he's taken on a lot of extra duties. He's jumped in and helping out the Environmental Commission. He's had a real passion for environment. When I found that out, I said, sold, and he's been helping out the Environmental Commission, and he's going to be working. You're going to see him out on a lot of the cleanups for different things like that. So he's just been a really great to just jump in and do that, and he's kind of helped spearhead while Casey was out on maternity leave. He kind of took the bull by the horn and kind of helped move the process forward with the community center. So he's just done a great job, and I think that's just a couple of reasons why his fellow employees selected David as a Employee of the Month this month. So I just want to say congratulations.
Great
David,
job, David.
Thank you for all of your work on the community center. You've really been a treasure to work with.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and City Solicitor?
I don't have anything tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
City Council, any updates or old business? On to our City Engineer, Vince Orlando, Special Projects Update.
Good evening, everyone, and happy April Fool's Day.
Don't forget to turn the mic on, Vince.
Thanks, Vince.
So we got a lot of projects actually started this year. Things are looking really good. The first one, obviously, is the Franklin Street reconstruction and restoration. As you can see, we're about 85% complete. We're about 85% complete. We're looking at installing the trees and the gas lamps. We did have some suggestions from the Shade Tree Commission. We vetted those off of the contractor, and we're going to change the trees to some of the recommendations they had, and the contractor was fine with that. So we're looking at availability for those trees, but we'll be making those changes.
Shane, if you can hear us, thank you from the Shade Tree Commission.
So that project coming to an end, we may extend the project to provide for some additional crosswalks. I'm working with the contractor right now to get a price because they're a different location. We've located the material. We were worried that there was going to be a shortage of material. So we're able to locate the brick, and it looks like that we could get it done in the month of April and May.
Wow, that's great.
So I talked to the contractor earlier this week, and he's going to get us a price quote to do that.
Great.
The water transmission line is complete. I think the only thing they're waiting for is some of the electrical and controls have to be coordinated with the city, but that should be online, I don't think, within the next 30 days.
Yeah, that's great. Vince, just because it's been a while just for the audience and anyone who might not know that, can you go over the purpose of the water transmission line?
So the water transmission line is a kind of a backup line to connect the two wells to provide for water in the case of one of the wells goes down. So it was a 100% grant from the state. We actually picked up the job, one of the first projects that we had, and we're able to secure the approvals. The board recalls we had a wetland that we had to cross, so we had to get a transition area waiver. But all in all, the project turned out nice, and I think it'll be a good attribute to the city. As you can see, the city parking lot is being completed. A lot of inconvenience to the township or city employees. We kind of knew that Paul's been fabulous at trying to coordinate, keeping people. Paul and Justin have been fabulous in keeping coordination with the contractor. I think they're going to start concrete work this week. Hopefully within the next week to 10 days, they'll start milling and paving.
Perfect.
So that, no time is a good time to disrupt that parking lot, but that parking will be done along with the access area between the fire station and the facility.
That's great.
And we do pick up a number of parking spaces on the, south side of the lot. Lafayette Street Park Phase 1 is underway.
If I can just add, just to brag a little bit about it, I think you're gaining like 8 to 10 parking spots, which is
Yes.
a lot in Cape May.
Yeah. So Lafayette Street Park is finally underway. We had to break it in phases because of some of the DEP approvals. We were able to secure a contract with Think Pavers. They started clearing last week. We anticipate that this work will be done by the 4th of July. That's what we're shooting for.
It's awesome.
The nature trail, the Lafayette Street Nature Trail. I have some photos for everyone.
Vince, before you go any further, and I'm interrupting again, but I think everybody has heard so much about Lafayette Street Park for like 10 years that we finally actually break ground and no one even really celebrates it or anything. But in
That's
all
okay.
seriousness,
They'll
because
celebrate when it's done.
Right. So we will, but I do want to thank you because it took a lot of effort on your behalf, on Paul's, to get through all the permitting and unfortunately our solicitors, but to get through all the permitting, all the, I won't go through all the acronyms of different agencies that were involved, but it took a lot. So thank you. And
You're welcome. And I think that Phase 1 is going to be a nice start to the park, which is the dog park relocation,
right,
the couple of gazebos, the bocce courts, and the play fields. Phase 2 will then be the parking area along with the pickleball or tennis courts and basketball and those other hard structures.
it's great.
The nature trail, I did have some pictures. Paul and I did walk the trails on Friday. We were able to get out there on a nice day, which we didn't have to have mud boots. And the project is coming along fabulous, better than I ever anticipated. We have a superior contractor. I can't say enough nice things about Massett Construction. I've worked with a lot of people in my 40-year career. These guys have done an excellent job. Their construction details, everything they do is first class, and some of the recommendations they made to us during the process have been fabulous. So, and they take a lot of pride in their work, as you can see. So we're hoping that around the 15th of May, this will be done. And we'll maybe have one of the council promenade walk as a grand opening.
If I could just jump in on that one, I didn't get to announce or mention, because I wanted to talk about it while you had these pictures out. There was some discussion from a resident, I think Roz, a couple of meetings ago, talked about the Osprey Nest. About 2.5 weeks ago, Public Works was able, we got a donation of an Osprey Nest from a teacher up at Cape May Tech, Hannah Toft, her Naturals program. They build these Osprey Nest platforms. We secured a donation from her to do that. Public Works carried it out. 4 guys had to carry it out into the marsh. And actually, if you look on Vince's photo number 3, in the foreground, you can see there's like 4 different shrubs, scrub trees. Kind of the middle one, just beyond that, you can't really see it in the picture, but just beyond that, you can see the Osprey platform. And I actually received a photo from Zach Mayer, and he actually saw some ospreys out on the platform already. So they haven't nested there, obviously, but they've actually found it and used it as a spot to look around. So I just wanted to report back that we did get that osprey nest back out there about 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's going to be a special place for the residents of Cape May for that promenade. Lastly, and this is Council or Deputy Mayor McDade's pet project, is Harborview Park. As Council is aware, we were able to secure a grant from the County of Cape May for 90%. I think it's $2.4 million for the rehabilitation and reconstruction. This is a passive park. There's really no active aspect of the facility other than a lot of walking paths, a gazebo, a number of isolated areas for sitting, some tables and chairs for relaxing and maybe having your lunch. We expand the parking area a little bit on the south side of the lot, provide a different promenade, a different railing system there. I've included a copy of the plan that was presented to the Cape May Board of Open Space. I think we're on the agenda for the 17th of April, was it? For confirmation from the freeholders, or I guess not the freeholders more, it's the commissioners. But everybody feels pretty certain that this was approved unanimously. Couple of key points: we have some kinetic art in the facility. We also have a spot for some local art, so that we want to provide an opportunity for some of our local artisans to get involved with the park. So this is going to be a fun little design. This is, we don't get to do this too often, but this will have a lot of character. I think it'll be a great place for young people to come and relax, older city people in the city to come and spend an afternoon, play checkers, things of that nature. So other than that, this project is currently under design. The game plan is to send this out to bid sometime in July with a construction date early fall.
That's great.
To have this built over the fall of '25 and to open hopefully in the spring of '26. So a lot of good things going on. It's taken about a year to get some of these projects underway, but I think at the end, I think we've really, I think the project that we've worked on have a tremendous benefit to the city.
Absolutely. It really looks nice, Vince. Any questions or comments, council? None? Vince, you okay if we open up to the public for any
Sure.
questions or comments? this wasn't on the agenda, but if anyone has any questions or comments for our engineer, please feel free to come to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. We'll reopen it again soon. All right, any other questions, council? None?
Thanks, Vince.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and, I looked at my last update. It's been almost a year since my last update, so I expect I'd invite a little bit sooner than that.
Thank you very much, Vince. Yep. Okay, on to ordinances for introduction.
Yes, council, we have 556-2025, an ordinance amending Section 368-2 of the City Code regarding prohibited conduct in a park and recreation area to regulate use of the Lafayette Street Park nature trails.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments, council?
Yes, so regarding this ordinance, I'm glad Vince was here to actually talk about the nature trails. They're just opening up and providing us with pictures of it. And as you can see from the pictures, or if you have had a chance to go out and see the trails, they are elevated, and I think they're about 6 feet wide. So with the trails opening up in early spring, the discussion had been regarding use of the ordinance, and this ordinance proposes that it be limited to pedestrian use and those using a mobility aid, either wheelchairs or walkers. Essentially, I know there had been discussion as far as whether bikes would be suitable for this area, and this ordinance, as proposed, would specifically prohibit bikes or scooters or skateboards or things of that nature. In addition, I know there has been some discussion as well as far as people being able to walk dogs, take dogs out onto the nature trails as well. And in relation to that, it's not addressed within this. I actually had a discussion with our solicitor after receiving some public feedback. Candidly, I believe that a lot of people who are going to go out and use those nature trails would be the type who would be taking leashed dogs out there. And I think that personally, my belief would be somebody having a leashed dog and taking them out on these nature trails would be a wonderful opportunity for an owner and their pet to be out there on them. So had a discussion with their solicitor to draft additional language related to this ordinance to address specifically individuals being able to walk dogs, take dogs out on the nature trails, but also requiring them to maintain their pets, one, to keep them leashed, but also to collect their waste after the fact. So, Mr. Gillen Schwartz, could you address the language that we had discussed?
Sure. It would be a simple amendment just to add a second provision to this ordinance, and it would say that dogs are permitted but shall be kept on a leash at all times and be accompanied by their owner or caretaker. The owner or caretaker shall carry a dog waste disposal device. Any owner or caretaker of a dog who permits such dog to leave animal waste on the nature trails without disposing of the same shall be subject to the penalties set forth in 368. And then the signage provision would just be amended to say that dogs must be leashed and accompanied by owner. Dog owners must carry waste bags and clean up after their dogs. And both of those amendments will be similar to the language that we have on the beach to these, including the signage. So if council would like to consider that, a motion to amend could be made, and this could be incorporated into the ordinance that gets published, if that's the direction council would like to go.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Chris. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
No.
Any questions or comments on the amendment?
No.
No? Okay. Do I have a motion on the amended ordinance?
I'll make the motion on the amended.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have to do roll call for the.
On the amendment. I apologize.
No
Yep.
worries. So we have a motion and second to amend the wording that Solicitor Gillen Schwartz mentioned.
Can I just confirm that Councilman Meyer can hear that?
Councilman Meyer, are you good to do roll call on the amendment?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Roll call, please.
All right. Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes. Do I have a motion on the amended ordinance?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments on the amended ordinance? Roll call?
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
And next, we have ordinance 557-2025, an ordinance authorizing the grant of conservation restriction easement to the New Jersey DEP for property known as Block 1000, lots 60.01, 61.01, 62.01, 63.01, 63.02, 63.03, in connection with the Cape May Seawall Madison to Wilmington Avenue project.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Any questions or comments? And actually, before that, Mr. Solicitor, could you give us a quick explanation on this one?
Sure. So the city received an NJDP permit and approval for this extension of the seawall from Madison to Wilmington Avenue, and this is the city's project. In connection with that permit, we are required to provide mitigation, and a portion of that is a payment in lieu, and then a substantial portion of that is by way of a conservation easement and restriction, and essentially, it provides in large part for the installation and preservation of landscaping, for lack of a better word, as set forth in the plan prepared by Colliers. So the Colliers plan and the mitigation proposed in there, the physical mitigation, is an exhibit to this and will be on record with the county records office, and it'll just be a perpetual obligation for the city to maintain that and see that it continues to be in place. And then there's a financial portion of it, which is also referenced in the ordinance, and that's just a flat payment. I will indicate to council and to the public that it's not lost on the city that we recently went through a disposal effort for the police station and offering a substantial amount of land over on the Sewell Tract. And as part of this, before we finalize this, we wanted to confirm and seek that the NJDEP would consider the substantial contribution that the city was making for those Sewell Tract lots. But the indication back was that there was not going to be, we're not going to get double credit for that, essentially. So we did explore that. We did try to eliminate that as an option, but, and you know, the ratio of the contribution was so overwhelming, we wanted to see if we could also get credit for that as part of this, because of the contribution level. But that we explored that, eliminated that as a potential option here, and that's how we ended up with this restriction. And so that's it. It's maintaining the elements that are shown on the Colliers plan, and then there's the financial payment. I think it's $41,000 or so, as set forth in the ordinance.
Okay. Any questions or comments, council? Roll call?
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes, and just, again, this is another one of these applications that pretty close to 10 years in the making to get this New Jersey DEP permitting for the extension of the seawall is a really big deal. So I appreciate everyone's hard work on this one. On the ordinances for second reading?
Yes, we have 554-2025, an ordinance amending the city code to require covering of dumpsters in transit. There is a public hearing scheduled this evening, but there also is a recommended minor amendment that council may want to discuss prior to the public hearing.
Great. City Manager, would you give that recommendation?
Yes. So after some discussions with some of the other towns, both their administrators and other public works personnel, we've been collectively talking about this because a lot of the towns are kind of considering the same ordinance at the same time. One of the things we discussed is, the ordinance had some vagueness in the number of attachments. And when you really look at, some of the size of the dumpsters, we felt that it was incumbent that you really needed a specific number of attachments, not just at the four corners, but when you have the longer dumpsters, you really need an attachment at the midpoint on the sides. And that really should be a requirement, not as an optional thing, because if you leave it up to the vendor to do it, we just didn't want to leave it up to the vendor. We wanted to have specificity on that point. So the suggested would be to say, shall be securely affixed in four corners and at each side midpoint. As opposed to
Mr.
having
Dietrich.
it saying, and this was on,
Can you point to that?
437-52, section A. It's about midway down. It's on the second page of the
I
ordinance.
see it, yep. Everyone sees that?
Because the language we're striking out, it says, such other locations as may be required. And that, we just felt that
That sounds
we'd rather
like a
that be
solicitor wrote it.
specific.
All right, perfect.
So just one other question. I know that this is addressing those that are in transit, I guess. But we continue to have dumpsters on properties at construction sites that are not tarped. And, weather of recent weeks with a lot of wind, there's debris just blowing out of those. So I know that is covered in another section of the code. I just would implore that we sort of, especially when we know we have a storm coming in, rain events, things of that nature, that if we could have just code enforcement, anyone just doing a sweep, just to make sure that those are. And I would also ask that that's reinforced on the contractor checklist, and if this is passed tonight, that this is also added to the contractor checklist that is given to anyone who's,
Yes.
obtaining a permit for construction. Thank you.
I'll just note for the record, we're not usually toying with these things on second reading unless we're republishing them, but this is one of those that I think falls into the insubstantial category, just because the language that's splicing out, this could easily be the same thing. The manager could have just interpreted it as that. He's telling people what to do here, which is, I think, a good thing, giving good direction.
So we need a motion on the amendment?
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
I would amend and then potentially do the public
Public
hearing and
Okay.
then adopt.
Do I have a motion to amend?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes. Is anyone here wishing to comment on this ordinance? It's the dumpster ordinance. Seeing none, we can close public comment. Do I have a motion on the amended ordinance?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call?
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes.
And moving on to the public portion on the resolutions only, Mayor?
Okay. Do we have anyone here from the public who would like to speak on resolutions this evening? Mr. Roush?
Jules Rouse, 1010 New York Avenue. Resolution 140. This is for the walkway to continue on up to Poverty Beach. Is that correct?
It is, but it's only to continue up to Madison with the funds that we had available.
So it's not going to continue on to Poverty?
Not at this point, no.
Oh, good. That was my concern. I was going to say, with the process of rebuilding the seawall, it wouldn't be a good idea to put these mats down before that project's finished.
Well, these mats wouldn't have interfered with that project, but nonetheless, we only have funds to get us up to Madison, so.
And how many? What are the funds for that? This
It's
section?
part of the DCA. In other words, that's how the original set was. We had a $400,000 grant from the DCA for a small communities grant. That was
That's
funded.
part of that?
So we had some money left over out of that grant, so we're using the rest of the funds for that, in addition to our match, to pay for that.
Great.
And just to comment on that, that 400,000 really has been a godsend for some people. I mean, obviously, the existing beach walk that everybody knows, but it was also a dozen wheelchairs, the beach wheelchairs.
Yep.
It was Mount Vernon ramp,
Right.
which anybody in Cape May knows that's a really neat spot. That go check out and take a look at the new ramp that they put in. Public Works did the work, but did a really nice job with materials paid for through the DCA. And then this last batch of the mats will now go to Madison Avenue. We're under that original grant.
Thank you. 142, Mr. Costello's report on the budget reconciliation. Will he be preparing a written report that will be available to the public before the budget is approved?
I don't think a written report, but he will be here at council for the presentation of the budget.
But will he give a report on his findings and the reconciliation?
Of the audit?
Yeah.
I don't know when that's typically done.
Not,
That's not what this is. This is a resolution to use his services, correct? If
Yeah.
you could explain it better than me, Paul.
to finish up the bank reconciliations before we had to finalize the budget. But it's not, a written report's not needed.
All right. And 143, could you explain a little bit more detail on that, please?
So that's the resolution regarding the outside duty services. So right now, the scheduling for outside duty services, in other words, when South Jersey Gas needs to do a road closure and we have to assign off-duty officers to that duty, and then obviously back charge that officer's charge to the contractor, that process of scheduling, billing is all done internally. This service will essentially take that and provide that service will be outsourced, and then the costs for that service will be charged back to the contractor. So that way it becomes more seamless and effective and efficient and less costly for the city to do it.
Thank you. And 151 and 152, I believe these are loan applications for future projects?
Loan, but they're primarily because of the city's entitled to, I think, $2 to $3 million of principal forgiveness. So it is a loan, but it's a principal forgiveness loan. So it's essentially a grant, and there's two buckets of money that we're eligible for. So it is for future projects. Yes.
Have you determined where you're going to do those projects?
Yes. I don't have the total list.
Okay.
I mean, part of the list was announced last year. It's a series of roads. I think it includes Illinois, Washington, Texas, and I forget the other. There's two others.
Any ideas to actually how much taxpayers' money is going to be needed for those projects?
We anticipate there's not going to be a significant amount because of the amount of principal forgiveness that will be eligible, but we won't know that final amount until once the DEP processes that, and then they give us the answer at the end of the program. It's not a set. It's kind of like when we apply for a New Jersey Department of Transportation grant. We apply for X, they give us Y, and that's it's kind of in the same situation. We don't know that final amount, but we know we're eligible for $2 million in each of those grant funds, so it's at least $4 million worth that we're eligible. It also gives us eligibility to get reimbursement for the engineering soft costs for the project.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roush. Anyone else this evening on resolutions? Seeing none, we can close public comment on resolutions this evening. On to the consent agenda.
Yes, Council, is there anything you'd like to remove from the consent agenda this evening?
Anything, council?
If I could have 141 pulled.
Anything else, council? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
A second?
Roll call?
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
On the consent agenda, I abstain on the minutes and vote yes on the resolutions.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes. Do I have a motion on 14104, 2025?
I'll make a motion?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Questions or comments?
Yes. Deputy Mayor McDade and I looked at this with Casey Radigan, and just wanted to say that there were actually 2 bids that we've received, and I wanted to make sure that that was clear on this. So I'd like to amend this, saying that we are rejecting 2 bids. Where currently it says 1 bid. There were substantial, and what it says in the third whereas, the bid specifications, we need to look at revising that for this, and we'll do that at a future date. But I want to make sure that the resolution is clear that there were 2 bids that were received.
City Manager, City Solicitor, you're okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, the title had said rejecting all bids, so
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
the intent was
Just to be clear.
that.
I just wanted to
Sure.
clarify
I-
that as far as the contractors that are,
Okay, so do you want to make a motion to amend to the number 1 to 2?
yes.
2 bids.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call on the amendment?
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes. Do I have a motion on the amended resolution?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments on the amended resolution? Roll call?
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDade,
Yes.
Councilmember Bodnar,
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes. Okay. New business? City Solicitor, any new business?
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
City Manager?
I just would like to make sure everybody's aware, we've kind of set our summer concert series. I think the full series of concerts is out there, so make sure that you take a look at that list out there. I think we've added some good artists for this year, and take a look at that. And obviously, with April coming up, we have several other events this month, so make sure to check out our social calendar. We have, I know, Erin's got a whole levy of things. So
Yeah.
List.
Flyers
we've got a
galore
lot. Yeah, this is, this, I'll say, April kind of starts a lot of the season of events, and April is, we have several events coming up. But I really just wanted to highlight the summer concert series and make sure people are aware of that and get your tickets now, because there's some acts that will most likely be sold out by the time we hit summertime. So make sure if you're looking to go to them, might want to look at getting your tickets now.
There's actually a concert in a couple weeks. First one's on April 14th.
Yes.
Richard Thompson, get your tickets. He's a great artist.
Fun. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, City Clerk, sounds like you might have a few announcements.
I have a few, absolutely. City Manager already took care of the summer concert series, so this Saturday, April 5th, we have the Blessing of the Wooders at the Fisherman's Memorial at 1021 Baltimore Avenue at 11 a.m. We have a citywide job fair that I mentioned before on Wednesday, May 7th at 4 p.m. at Convention Hall. So please come if you're looking for a job, bring your resume, be prepared to interview on the spot. And if you're interested in being a vendor, please reach out to the Convention Hall staff. We have the Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 19th at 11 a.m. on the beach outside of the Convention Hall. No rain dates, so come prepared.
The Easter Bunny only comes once.
There you go. And then we have the Easter Fashion Stroll, Sunday, April 20th at 1 p.m. in Rotary Park. Registration begins at noon. There's various categories to sign up for. I don't think you need to sign up in advance, but that's not on the flyer. So I will get some more information by the next meeting on the fashion stroll. So dress up. And that is it for now.
Great, thank you, City Clerk. City Council members, Councilmember Baldwin?
Nothing tonight, thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Who do we have next? Councilman Bodnar?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. Deputy Mayor?
No, nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you
Nothing.
very much.
Councilman Meyer?
No, thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Riggs.
Mayor, if I could just add, on one of the resolutions next week, we'll start local government week. So stay tuned for, on the social media page, we'll be announcing several events. So just stay tuned and we'll have some more announcements on it. But thank you for everyone for participating in that.
That's great.
And that includes the first walk and talk on the promenade on Wednesday, 1:30 at the
Perfect.
promenade.
Walk and chew gum. That's right. Okay. And I'll just quickly, went to a couple of the singer-songwriter events, and that was just neat. Cool to see town back. It was busy this weekend, if anybody got around a little bit. But it was neat to see all the different artists. I think there was something close to like 50 different artists playing all around town. So that was really, really interesting. I want to thank Paul and the water department. We had an issue at the desal, at the water plant. It was a leak that could happen at any plant, but it was a pretty significant leak. And they got it back up and running very quickly, but there was a couple tense moments. Our city manager did a really nice job, but really especially want to thank, I know Brian Heron was one of the initial folks trying to fix a blown out gasket while the water is coming at you is a difficult task, but they did it and did a really nice job. And to Rob Kaminsky and his whole staff, they did excellent job, and you didn't have to hear anything about it because they did their job, so all good. And I also, Chief Fashaw will be giving us an update in a couple weeks, I think, on the camera system. That's
Yeah.
Is it finished, or is there some little things still being done, Chief? Do you want to give us a quick update? I don't want to, don't ruin your presentation, but.
No, thank you. Obviously, we have been working this for over a year now. We have a multitude of cameras that we decided to put in with council's help last year. The boardwalk phase is one of the last phases. We're working with you're repaving the boardwalk, so kind of got to put that one on the back burner for a minute. We have lifeguard headquarters up. We have several cameras along the boardwalk that are set up. The mall is completely done. That's up and running. We're going to demo that on the 20th, I believe, May 20th. Correct, Aaron? Kiwanis Park was done, and we're working on both bridges coming into town. That we're going to be putting cameras on both bridges coming into town. So all the cameras that are up and running, high quality, 4K quality, they're decent to look at. Once you put them all up, you're like, wow, that's a lot of cameras. In locations, there is actually one camera head with 4 lenses in it. So it kind of quads and gives you that 360 view. We can adjust them. We can put different things into them. But we'll give you a full display on the 20th of May and have the company here from Gridless to present that to you in a real quick presentation. So.
Chief, are you planning on adding them into Lafayette Street Park as we go through the phases there? Or
Yes.
anything on the nature trails, or?
That's the big one. So that's
Yeah.
the add-on this year. So we'll definitely have the budget for that next year. We do have actually, I forgot one, Rotary Park. We have cameras, several more cameras put in Rotary Park, which we utilize this weekend. But yes, the nature trails and that park. So that kind of a phase. Once if we do the police department in the coming year, we'll add those into that location there and make that very safe and sound. The park definitely, Lafayette Street, that's definitely going to be something there.
And one of the nice things about the system that you worked with and basically chose was it's expandable to.
It is, yeah.
As far as we want.
Like Hazlitt and Brick Township, they have like 3,000 cameras on them. It's huge. It's one platform. Our goal was to get to one platform because we have several in the operations center. We have several cameras in there from different vendors. I'm trying to merge them into one so we can give that to each department head and we can kind of have that full scale of punching it up. And it's a lot of AI technology in there. I showed the manager today, just putting in red hat. You got every single Phillies hat on the boardwalk and walking around the mall this weekend. Ford truck. You can be very specific with it. My staff was playing with it over the weekend, putting Old Man in, and one of our detectives came up, so it was fun. And some other old guys in the city, so we could play with it. But we have a lot of shoplifting on the mall and different things like that, so that's the real goal of it. Any abductions or anything like that, to get to it's a tool that we can use. It's obviously something we're going to learn how to work through, but definitely an added thing. So you'll see the boxes on the mall. They're not too obtruse. They're kind of there, but you'll notice them as you walk around.
I think I get to see it in action a little bit, and I think people are just going to be blown away with the quality. I mean, put it out there. If you
Big
come
Brother's
to Cape May,
watching.
especially the mall,
Yeah.
you're going to be caught. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
that was pretty much a start a few years ago, and Justin had helped me out too, actually pitching that to the mall, deputy city manager, and they kind of needed some convincing of why, but it was we do have some retail theft here, and I literally can punch in pink bathing suit, and we can follow that bathing suit. Any camera that person touches in the city of Cape May, and Cape May Point has the same camera. So if they go into Cape May Point with a vehicle, we can kind of load that into our system. If a vendor or a retail shop has a picture on their own surveillance camera, they give that to the officer. He uploads it into the system, and it hunts. It's called a hunts for that face, and it's got AI technology. We're there, so we're definitely there. So it's not as detailed as the government, but it's detailed.
Councilwoman Baldwin, maybe we should invite the bid to that presentation for the cameras. That would be nice.
Yeah, that'll be the major part of it. It will be the mall. We have Liberty Way, and we'll expand on the mall to the back, more so the backside. But we have the nooks of the mall represented there, so we definitely can see that. There's license plate readers. You can as tags go by, it's capturing tags for anything that goes wrong. So
Yeah,
definitely, that would be welcome to come.
Yeah, but they've been aware all along.
They
as, they've actually funded part of this, so.
Yep. Perfect.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief. With that, we open it up to public comment. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
I'd like to bring up before you tonight.
I'm sorry, Peter. Could you state your name and address for us, please?
Yes, Peter Cole, President of the Taxpayers Association of Cape May, and I'm speaking here tonight on behalf of the taxpayers. At the end of 23, you were talking about the recyclables business, of what the city should be doing with residential and commercial pickup. And at the beginning of 2024, I stood here in January or February and said that I'd give you a heads up that the taxpayers will be discussing the subject more. Well, here we are now in 2025, and we've had several meetings together at the TPA with you, Mayor and City Manager. At these meetings, we've always expressed our opinion that we would prefer that the city keeps out of commercial pickup. But, however, that the city now is continuing to pursue this agenda of a commercial pickup. And I'm now going to give you a heads up because we are opposed to this idea. So I'm going to read what none of our members have seen yet, but I'm going to read to you why we're opposed to it. The taxpayers of Cape May oppose unfair recycling ordinance. The Taxpayers Association of Cape May believes that businesses and residents should be treated equally when it comes to city services. The new ordinance, which is, I gave you the number, correct? I think I did, 555. The new ordinance, set for a vote on Tuesday, April the 15th, would allow the city to collect up to 4 96-gallon recycling containers from businesses, but only 1 96-gallon container from residents. Currently, the city does not provide recycling pickup for businesses. This proposed ordinance would change that by allowing businesses to receive up to 4 times the service residents receive. We firmly believe residents should not bear the cost of business operations. We strongly oppose this change and urged support for a uniform policy of one 96-gallon container per tax-paying address per week, whether residential or commercial. Why this ordinance is unfair. Both businesses and residents pay taxes. Businesses should not receive additional services at the expense of residents. Trash and recycling collection are business expenses that should be covered by business profits, not subsidized by taxpayers. More trucks mean more workers, leading to increased city payroll costs. Trash collection is the #1 cause of workers' compensation claims. Expanding services increases injury risks and costs. City services should be equal for all taxpayers, regardless of the amount they pay in taxes. We urge all taxpayers to attend the meeting on the 15th and oppose this ordinance. Let's ensure fair and equal services for everyone. I therefore urge that perhaps this gives you time, because it's not until the 15th for your meeting, that maybe you would consider tabling the ordinance or making an amendment to it that's in line with our recommendations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter. And whether we agree or not, I just want to say we appreciate your candor, and you're never trying to surprise us with something. And I think that matters, because it does give us time to discuss these things, and I appreciate that. And you said in the beginning that you have invited City Manager Dietrich, myself, to meetings, and I appreciate that. It's always been on the up and up, which is important. So I appreciate that, and I guess we'll have to see what happens at the second reading. But no matter what, I appreciate your.
I'll give you a copy of this.
Thank you.
Before you leave tonight.
Thank you.
Bedtime reading for you.
Perfect. I dream about recycling. Anyone else would like to speak this evening? Mr. Roush?
Jules Roush, 1010 New York Avenue. As you know, I'm a member of the TPA. However, these comments are relative to my own position. However, I do support what the TPA has said. The issue of recycling collection is very important, and it has major financial and operational details that must be described for City Council and the public to understand. The number of 96-gallon containers are an issue, but what we really need to know are as follows. One, who will determine who requires the actual number of cans? And are they supplied by the city? Where will the cans be stored or located? And where will they be placed for collection? How will the collection scheduling of one-time pickup be arranged based on various amounts and types of collectible materials and number of locations in a given area? Who will determine when a specific location must arrange for their own private collection? And is this a permanent command notice, or is it appealable? Has there been a study to make a determination of how many individual addresses will receive service, and estimated amounts of material and general dates of service? Did the city communicate with the local private collection companies and discuss this issue, and ask if they had any interest in collecting the city's materials and consider proposals? We must remember the ordinance as proposed will create competition with private enterprise. The devil is always in the details, and they must be addressed as completely as possible. And has this been done and discussed with the Director of Public Works in any written format? In my opinion, City Council is not in a position to move forward on this recycling ordinance without a financial pro forma. There's been numerous articles and public comments made about all the changes that the Public Works will need to complete to provide a citywide collection program, additional employees for collection and administration, and equipment are essential. Alternate plans to handle equipment repairs and breakdowns. That's a significant issue, as a matter of fact. Increased risk for accidents and injuries are always an issue. Assigning a budget amount can only be achieved with these details being known and addressed. We all want to see a successful conclusion to this difficult issue, and the City Council's fiduciary obligation will be tested. It is unreasonable, if not improper, to adopt an ordinance that is not fully understood and the financial implications and commitments set forth. I suggest City Council pass a motion to table the ordinance, step back and devote this year, 2025, to develop a solution to the issue. We have had a successful ordinance for over 35 years, and it is still valid, whereby the city collects only residential recyclables one time per week, and commercial is contract privately. No question, times have changed, but the proposed ordinance is arbitrary and lacks substance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roush. Any other questions or comments tonight? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you.
Time is 6:13.